Welcome back to Play and Trade Guitars. I'm John, that's Zach behind the camera, and this is Play and Trade Guitars, where we play it and trade it. We're here to cover the best-selling Gibson SG Standard. Beautiful guitar at a $17.99 price point. I'll tell you everything you need to know about this guitar when we pull it apart on the bench, and of course we're going to plug it in and play it. But at the top, if you're in the market for any new gear like this SG, click to buy using our link. You'll get fast free shipping, easy payment plans. In fact, you can get this SG, no interest, 18 months, under 100 bucks, super cool. And you do support our channel when you buy gear using our link, so thank you. If you stick around to the end, I'm going to give you my honest, raw reaction to playing the SG Standard. I'll give it a final score, and very importantly, I'm going to compare it to the other SG options that are available from Gibson in the $1,000 to $2,000 price range. So let's get to work on the SG Standard. One more thing, we're giving away a Gibson Les Paul Deluxe Gold Top. You can sign up using Gleam. All that information is in the description, and you also just need to make sure you're subscribed to Play and Trade Guitars, so go ahead and hit subscribe and like on this video. Let's get to work. Let's get this SG out of the case. Remember to drop a comment as we go, and I'm super pumped about this one. SG is a great guitar. Let's see how the Standard holds up. So at that $17.99 USD price point, it does come with the Gibson soft bag. I wish they did include a hard shell case, but in terms of gig bags, this is as good as it gets. I really do like the Gibson soft case. But let's open it up and get the SG out. All right, check that out. Beautiful classic heritage cherry finish. Nitro finish, made in America at the Nashville Gibson USA plant. They also offer this guitar in ebony, which is beautiful. But some of the specs that set apart the SG Standard is going to be, number one, to be aware of, a thicker neck. This has a more rounded profiled neck than the slim taper neck you'll find on something like the SG Standard 61. And it's got this large guard. Cosmetically, this is more in line with a later 60s SG. Humbuckers here are going to be covered, chromed out 490 set of humbuckers, standard controls, and bound fretboard with these acrylic trapezoid inlays, classic Standard look, and just a beautiful guitar. So let's head over to the bench and pull it apart. And at the end, I'll give you some comparisons to the SG Tribute, Special, and also the 61 that I mentioned. Beautiful Standard. Let's get to work. I love that rosewood. I've got the strings loosened up, but check out this beautiful mother of pearl Gibson inlay. I love the crown. Both look just gorgeous. True mother of pearl. You've got these classic Grover tuners here, kidney beans, solid tuners. And again, as I kind of hold my hand and run down this neck, you do really notice the binding. You also notice the thickness of this neck. A lot of SGs out there are going to have slim taper necks, and you will feel, if you're looking for a guitar with a slightly thicker neck, this is a healthy, medium, kind of thicker neck that we'll get a reading on as soon as I move these strings out of the way. Beautiful guitar. You could drop a comment, let me know if you like the small guard or the large guard more, but this has definitely got that later 60s large guard. Looking really good. I love those chromed out 490 set of humbuckers. The same humbuckers actually you'll find on the $12.99 SG Tribute. That one is not going to come with a lot of the cosmetic appointments. It'll have dot inlays, no binding, and actually a maple neck, which is interesting. Working our way back to this neck, let's go ahead and get some measurements on this rounded, kind of thicker profile neck. Nut comes in at a wider 1.70 inches. First fret at 0.85 inches. Up to 0.98 inches at the 12th. It's not as thick as what I'd call like a true like 50s profile. Those could really push upper 8s, upper 9s, even over an inch at the 12th. This is going to be like a medium to medium thicker neck is the way I would describe it. Noticeably thicker though than like a slim taper 61 profile. SG, nice and lightweight, because typically when you lose that maple cap and just have a slab mahogany body, you're going to get a thinner body. This one coming in at 1.32 inches. And these beautiful body bevels. I love the look. These Florentine cutaway devil horns on the SG. Nice, beautiful, beautiful sleek look of this guitar. And then just a few more screws since we're dealing with the large guard here. All right, humbuckers are mounted to the large guard, so let's go ahead and flip that over. All right, a few other things to point out. So the neck on this SG Standard meets actually the body at the 19th fret. It's a little higher up than some of the earlier 60s examples, but regardless, SG will typically have a longer neck tenon, and that's because whether it meets at the 19th or all the way up at the top, that needs a little bit of extra bracing since you have full access to the upper register on that double cutaway. The long neck tenon gives a little bit more stability to the build of the guitar. You can see these larger routes here to accommodate the wiring and the humbuckers, and this is going to be a set of 490T for treble in bridge position and 490R for rhythm in neck position. Same humbuckers you'll find in the SG Tribute. Standard volume, tone, three-way selector switch down here on the bottom right bout. Let's flip on the multimeter and get a reading on these humbuckers. We're at 7.9 in bridge, 7.6 in neck, 3.8 combined. Flipping the guitar over, we can check out the electronics. Lifting up that control cavity cover, see a circuit board, set of 500K Gibson pots, SG style toggle switch. I was preparing to say all hand wired, but nope, this is the quicker to produce circuit board, although the wiring is exactly the same. SGs tend to be a lot lighter, so let's check out the weight. Oh, beautiful, 6 pounds, 12 ounces. So we're talking about 6 3/4 pounds. Nice and lightweight, won't break the back. Flipping the SG around for an initial reaction. Neck shape is a standout feature. Good ring to this guitar, nice and resonant. I always love the resonance of an SG. And yeah, the way that this slightly thicker neck sits in my hand, I really like. I'm a fan of like a 50s profile neck on a Les Paul. So one of the things about most SGs having a slim taper neck, the Standard is the one to remember if you want a thicker playing experience from the neck. Feels good. Really nice feeling guitar. I don't see a single construction flaw on this guitar, nothing cosmetic, beautiful. And you know, some of those cosmetic finishes is what sets the SG Standard apart, those trapezoid inlays. It's definitely a looker. And remember, if you're in the market for this guitar, you can buy using our link because it does support our channel and gives you easy payment plans and fast free shipping. Now comes the fun part. I'm gonna plug this guitar in, we'll check out cleans, dirties, and then we'll put it behind a track and let it sing. Remember to stick around to the end. I'll give you my raw, honest reaction to playing the Standard. I'll give you a final score, and I'll compare it to some of those other models between $1,000 and $2,000 from Gibson. So let's plug in and get to work. Always the best part. All right, the Gibson SG Standard, the standard of SGs at $17.99. I'll tell you what, I really enjoyed playing this one. I'm somebody who likes a thicker neck on a guitar, so it's definitely noticeable. So I know many of you will choose an SG with a slim tapered neck. That's a big differentiator when you're choosing a guitar in general. However, if you want the thicker playing experience, you can find a thicker neck on the SG Tribute at $12.99 or the SG Standard at $17.99. The pickups that you'll find in here, I was really impressed with the sound of the 490s. That's the same pickup actually you'll find in something like the Les Paul Custom. It's just a slightly differently voiced pickup, but I'm really impressed with how they sound in this SG. I thought it had an airy, fluid voice. The guitar was easy to play. It was really fun to play, and I thought it sounded great. You stuck around, so I'm going to give you my final score for this guitar. I base it on 3 main categories: overall playability, overall sound, and overall value. And after I give you that, I'll compare it to a few other SG models on the market today. But in terms of overall playability, again, I have a preference for a thicker neck. Keep that in mind when you're shopping. You've got to want to have a thicker neck on the SG. That, to me, makes it more playable, so I'd give it an edge there in terms of playability. SG design-wise, of course, you're going to have a more playable guitar because you have a double cutaway with access all the way up to the top register without anything holding you back. So SG is great in that regard. Another thing I want to point out, we always get comments about neck dive. I can tell you that I find it very rare that I run into an SG with neck dive. I believe that's extremely overblown. You can see that this guitar sits on me without any neck dive issues whatsoever, so that does not track from playability at all. Other than that, the gloss nitro finish feels real smooth in the hands. Controls of an SG construction-wise, I don't like that all the controls are down here. That makes an SG a little bit clunkier to play compared to like a Les Paul that would have a toggle switch up here, right? But overall, very playable guitar. I'm gonna go ahead and give it, especially with the feel of this great neck, I'm gonna give it a 9.0 on playability. Moving over to sound, I was very impressed with the 490 pickups set that is in this guitar. I thought it had a great voice that I could really work with. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 8.8 in sound. Probably the pickup that I prefer a little bit more is the 61 that you would find in something like the SG 61 at $19.99. But overall sound, I was super pleased with. 8.8 I'll give it. I'm really discovering how much of a fan of SGs I am all over again. And then when it comes to value, I'll knock a few points on value in this guitar because I think at $17.99, you'll find that other than the SG Tribute, it's the one that does not include a hard shell case. At $17.99, it really should include a hard shell case because you can buy an SG hard shell case from Gibson. It costs $200. That's going to push it up to basically the $2,000 price point where the SG Standard 61 is. That guitar comes with a hard shell case. Even consider the fact that something like the SG Special at $15.99 that has 2 P90s, that also comes with a hard shell case. So come on, Gibson, I gotta knock a few points on value because you're giving us the padded gig bag. Not that there's anything wrong with the bag, but this guitar should have a hard shell case for that kind of money. Also value-wise, just keep in mind that you've gotta, I guess, have a preference for the 490 pickup set over something like I said, the Burstbucker 61s. And there is a value comparison to be made. This is the same pickup set that you will find in the much cheaper SG Tribute. Let's talk differences in terms of value there. The SG Tribute is cheaper for a few reasons, mainly labor. It's a satin finish. It doesn't have binding. It has simple acrylic dot inlays. It doesn't have all the dressed up appointments that takes more time is money that you'll find in the SG Standard. It's a little bit more simple. It also has a maple neck instead of mahogany. So the SG Standard is going to give you the classic construction configuration of mahogany body, mahogany neck, whereas you have a maple neck, which does have a distinct sound, I think a little bit brighter, and I've always liked it on the Tribute. Great guitar, but in terms of value comparison, if you're shopping and you like the 490s, I would compare this honestly. I would compare it to the SG Tribute before you spend the $17.99 on this. Check out what you think of the SG Tribute because it does present the same set of pickups and overall probably similar playing experience. Gloss versus satin there, of course. Overall value, I'm going to give the guitar, I'm going to give the Standard an 8.0 on value. So that brings us to an overall score on the SG Standard of 8.6. Solid guitar. I love the sound and playability of it. I think it does lose a few points in value. There's better comparisons, and let's make those comparisons now. Between $1,000 and $2,000, starting from lowest to highest price. At $1,299, you have that SG Tribute that's gonna have a satin finish. It's gonna have a maple neck instead of mahogany neck, and a little bit more stripped down cosmetic appointments, no binding, acrylic dot inlays, things like that. Bumping it up, a great value is actually the SG Special at $15.99, including a hard shell case. That's gonna have two P90s. And if you've watched any videos on this channel, you know we are big fans of P90s, and the P90s sound fantastic on the $15.99 SG Special. Another $200, $17.99 brings you up to here. You're gonna have the gig bag instead of a hard shell case, but all the cosmetic appointments of a true SG Standard, and it certainly is lovely. And then one more notch up. If you've watched our review on the SG Standard 61, I have told you that that is probably the best guitar that Gibson USA is making right now. I love the SG Standard 61. Trade-off there compared to this guitar, you've got to want a slim taper neck on the 61 versus the thicker neck on the SG Standard. So keeping all that in mind, drop a comment and let us know which SG is your favorite, and really shop your SG primarily based on the pickups that you want and the neck shape. Slim taper or thicker. Rounder neck is going to be the SG Tribute or SG Standard, while the slim taper will be on the other models in this price point. So thanks for watching this review. Make sure you're in it to win it. Subscribe to Play and Trade Guitars and sign up for our Gleam giveaway to win our Les Paul Deluxe Gold Top guitar. Watch one of these demos, be in it to win it, and we'll see you on the next video from Play and Trade Guitars. Thanks for hanging out. See you next time.